Good morning, everybody, and welcome to TED Talks. Oh, no, this is No BS Sports. My bad. Let me do a quick little
I didn't even notice.
I'll do a little bit of decorating here.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Appreciate you.
There we go.
Ooh.
And
Ominous skies.
yeah, that's going to be going away here soon as we get this. There we go. That looks a little bit more normal. So, Ryan, how are you doing on this fine Tuesday? We were away last Tuesday. So glad to have Ryan back and glad to be back on.
Yeah, glad to be back. We had some technical difficulty. Oh, that's not the one. Damn it. Technical difficulties with my truck last week. But now we're here.
I wasn't sure if you wanted me to talk about it at all.
I don't.
I left it vague.
one of my brake lines busted.
Glad you're here to tell the story. That sounds
good.
Well.
Well, it wasn't all the way out. Like it did take a couple seconds to stop when I pulled it in the driveway. I was a little sketched, but you know, I still had the e-brake, so we're good. I live up a hill, so I was able to kind of baby it up the hill, so I didn't have to worry about stopping because there would be nobody in front of me with me going slow. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, again, glad that that's resolved. Yeah, and so there was no way for Ryan he was walking to work, and there was no way for him to walk home, do the show, and walk back.
Well, there would have been a way. It would not have. I would have had to essentially. We would have to go live the moment I walked through the door, and the moment I ended it, I'd have to be out the door. You know what I'm saying? So I just wasn't trying to have that.
Yeah, you know, real life always comes first, so that's fine. No worries.
We're good.
We got Red Jet Shell in the house. She says, "What's up, Brian and Ted? What's up?
What up, Red Jet?"
Got Bebop Jones. Bebop
Jones in the house.
Bethlehem, PA. Just be sure to like and subscribe to both channels. Yep. That reminds me to make sure we've got it playing on both channels. If you're
already done it.
If you're on a web browser, open up two browsers and two tabs, I should say, and watch us both at the same time. Really helps us to keep doing what we do for you. So thanks in advance for that. Just make sure you mute one, otherwise it can get a little confusing.
Yep.
But, Shell is saying, "Damn, Ryan, glad you're okay." Same here. Yeah. He also has changed up the angle of his broadcast there. So we got some of the same familiar view, but then the sort of new view of the door there.
The door, you got the door.
And then almost the closet.
Yep, there's a closet right there that we're missing.
Sweet. So, I mean, what should we talk about? Should we talk about Brandon Ayuk? Should we bury the lead? How do you want to do that?
Actually, before we forget, let's talk about Jimmy G.
Jimmy G.
Hold on.
The Rams let him be who he wants to be.
Yes.
And some other teams didn't let him do that.
No. Not be who you want to be who you are.
Oh, be who he is.
Yeah. Well, you're a backup quarterback. Okay. You were fronting as a starting quarterback for all them years, and people were expecting that out of you with as much as you were getting paid. But now that you're a backup quarterback, all that stress is gone, and you could just be yourself, a half-ass quarterback.
I thought he meant because he was living next to the Valley, which is the porn capital of the world.
Oh,
you know, I thought that's what he could be who he is there.
You're saying he's a conductor,
Jimmy?
He's a conductor. Choo choo. Pulling them trains.
Say hi to McNiner. He says, "What's up, fellas? That's F and Go 49ers." Bebop saying camera quality looks real good.
Hey.
I don't know if that's a good thing. You don't want to see us too up close and personal.
Close and good, but not too good and not too close.
Yes. Lord, not the Jimmy. LOL. Yeah.
Well, he wanted to bring up some old shit, and you know what? I had to just run him through the mud real quick because he was being a dumbass. Someone also said that he said the same shit when he went to the Raiders, which is kind of something I would expect from him. Something he could like him to have like a phrase where he could sound sincere and just repeat that instead of, you know, I don't know, telling the truth of being like, I'm about to stink it up for you guys. So, you know what I mean? Like, I hope you don't hate me. I think that's what he's thinking in the back of his head. Or thank God I'm a backup. Hopefully they don't put me in. I can just be pretty on the sidelines. And I
wonder if Stetson Bennett will beat him out for the backup spot, or
I wouldn't even want his ass holding the clipboard. He didn't study for shit in his fucking life.
Jimmy G QB3. I don't know.
I don't know. To me, I don't see.
Shell says, "Be who you are, Ryan." Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. AQ Shipley. You know who AQ Shipley is?
Vaguely.
He was the center for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they won the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. He'd been, I think he worked with Peyton somewhere. He was on the Colts at one point. He was on the Arizona Cardinals. He's like one of the best centers in the league. He goes on the Pat McAfee show on Wednesdays and does the O-line breakdowns. Well, last season it was Wednesdays. Who knows if it's changing in this upcoming season. But he put out a tweet 5 minutes ago that says, if San Francisco trades Brandon Ayuk in the final year of their Super Bowl window before Purdy gets paid, it would be a major blow to their Super Bowl chances. Now, we've all thought that, but you got somebody like AQ Shipley who actually knows X's and O's and whatnot, and I think his opinion's actually worth something because he doesn't just go out and say things, you know, because he doesn't want to get in conversations. This is him going, this is fucking math. And I don't understand how the Niners don't see it either.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a big blow to the offense for sure. Sounds like though some of the players they're asking for in return from the Steelers would help soften the blow, with George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, and Minkah Fitzpatrick, because you could argue that we probably do need a real free safety, and that's what Minkah is. And Freiermuth is a tight end who can block and catch, which we've been needing ever since we got Kittle. A second tight end who can block and catch. And George Pickens, he's no Ayuk, but he would soften the blow slightly.
He's not going to take the top off and yet block in the run game as efficiently as BA is, and that's who we're looking for. Somebody who can go man-to-man, break somebody down with their footwork, and get open. And somebody who will also participate in the run game. Now, tight end Freiermuth, I would love that guy. Not going to lie, I would love that guy. But he's not going to solve that speed issue to help take the top off, to make people have to respect that and open up everything underneath.
What about Robbie Chosen? I still call him Robbie Anderson.
Okay, so I don't know. Kyle seems to like him. That doesn't mean shit, though. Until we see it translate on the field, it's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday when I was with Raj, I said the reason we got Robbie Anderson is because he wasn't chosen by anybody else. I mean, I don't think he's any answer to.
He's not the answer. He's a gimmick. He's a guy when he's on the field in a game, defenses are going to have to keep an eye out for because of that speed. And because it could be going, if he's going in like a sweep, the ball might be going to him. That's when I saw, started looking at his tape. I was like, this guy could be nasty on that sweep. It's almost like he's maybe like a Ray on the offense. Might take like a Ray spot where, that guy that comes in on third down that you don't really expect, that fifth wide receiver, he's a nobody. And then all of a sudden the speed kills you. Then we converted. So that's what I think he is. Trent Taylor seems like he's got something. I don't see anybody who can do what BA does at all on any consistent basis. I'm sure on any given play, somebody can play to their highest standard and somebody on the defense can play to their lowest, and we can get something that looks like what Brandon Ayuk can replicate on a consistent basis. But I don't see that happening on a consistent basis from somebody other than Brandon.
Probably true. Probably true. Bebop says BA ain't going nowhere.
It seems like the 49ers tossed like that whole trade thing. Oh yeah, we'll go find you a trade. And then once it got real, they were like, well, maybe it seemed like the Cleveland and the Patriots was, I think that was kind of like what did I relate that? So have you ever seen the movie Django?
Yes, Unchained.
Okay,
Yeah.
in the beginning of Django, he gets sold cheap, right? Because his master says, you got sand, and I'm in no need of a man with sand. And so go there, sell them cheap because they're going to work you to death. And that's what I thought that Cleveland Browns and that Patriots thing was. Maybe they were some of the best offers, but it seems like those were pushed first over the Steelers, which you knew he wanted to go to. So why would you do that to him? It was kind of like, hey, you're getting the Cleveland Browns or the Patriots, bud. Which one do you want? Like, keep talking that shit. We'll send you. And I think that was kind of a slap in the face to Brandon Ayuk, knowing that these negotiations are tough, but it's like, really, you got to go there? You got to threaten to send me to the Cleveland Browns? When you know the Steelers are in this still, because it was like that when they came out about the Browns and the Patriots, the Steelers were left off of it for a little bit. And then somebody came back and was like, and the Steelers are still in the mix. And I think what happened was the agent called up, said, hey, you forgot to say the Steelers are in this mix. Or the Steelers said that they were in the mix, but somebody outside of the 49ers who leaked the Browns and the Browns and the Patriots. So I think that was their total, that was their narrative, is like, we're going to send you to fucking Siberia, bro. And now it's like match the offer or trade, or match the offer or trade me. And that's the only thing I will sit out.
Well, I mean, I think this Patriots is NFL Siberia. The Browns made the playoffs last year, and they had a really good defense. And theoretically, if Deshaun Watson comes back and can play, that could help their offense.
The Browns are shit. They will always be shit. Sending him there, it doesn't matter if they went to the playoffs 1 year. They will fucking go not to the playoffs for a decade because of this. The moment they sniff success, they crumble and become a lump of shit.
Well, the Steelers didn't make the playoffs last year, did they?
They've consistently been at an over 500 record, though.
Yeah, they have. Like 9-7, though. Like not much above that.
Bro, who cares? He can get
I
number one.
I don't agree that the Browns are football Siberia, but I definitely think the Patriots are right now.
Because
Ted,
because you're just thinking of this last year. Look at their whole career franchise and how they've operated. They shoot themselves in the foot regularly. I don't know why they keep rounds in the pistol still. What up, David Corona? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like they might, they shoot themselves consistently in their foot and they do dumb things. The whole Deshaun Watson thing, look at that. Oh, yeah, we'll give you the sun and the earth and the moon. Oh, what? There might be more allegations. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hopefully, David Corona's back, is doing better post surgery.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're throughout their history, the Browns have been terrible, but with Stefanski, they've been all right, and they have a really good defense.
The fish rots from the head down.
They have good offensive line. They just need some help at QB, basically, and they need Chubb to come back as himself. But they're not the the bad news Browns, I would say right now. But yeah, they're definitely not a contender either, I don't think. Crown Town, Corona from Corona, California. Taco Tuesday, absolutely.
I had some pasta salad for lunch.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Whatever gets it done, I'd say.
Well, I cut up some provolone and some salami and put some black olives in there, and it kind of makes it into a meal. It's really fucking good.
Oh, salami pasta salad. Oh, that sounds a lot better.
Salami and provolone with black olives. I'm telling you, just get the Suddenly salad, cut up some of that to your liking, throw it in there, bang.
David says he's feeling better, but it still hurts. Well, hope you have speedy recovery, David.
Yeah.
Other facts usually do take a long time, though. So be patient. Don't push it. Don't make it worse.
And the pain means it's healing. Just look forward to that. As the pain just means it's working, right? You know what I mean? So
I suppose. So
good segue into injuries.
Yeah, we got
like 23 of them. I didn't even care to write them down.
Well, the big one was Kalia Davis.
Quarter of the team.
Floating body in his knee being removed surgically. That's supposed to keep him out for half the season. That's a big blow.
It's 2 years and he hasn't seen the field pretty much.
Yeah. Ricky Pearsall's shoulder still not quite right.
What was his knock again? Oh yeah, his durability.
Isaac
Still
Yiadom,
too early, but
Isaac Yiadom sprained his ankle, but that doesn't sound very serious. Sounds like maybe a low ankle sprain.
Yeah, but this is also Ryan Hensley kind of alluded to this, and I got to give him credit. That might be one of the guys who's shut down for the year.
Isaac Yiadom?
Yeah.
Corner from.
Oh no, Guerrero. Sorry.
Guerrero. Yeah, Guerendo's been out for a minute with I think it was a hammy, right?
Yeah.
Different Isaac. I see where you got that. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking.
Guerrero, Isaac Yiadom. Yeah.
We got so many running backs. I think he's gonna see the fucking, what is the list where you're on your team for the year, but they're indefinitely done. It's not the IR. Is it? Oh, yeah.
IR list. Yeah, I mean, well, and then Elijah Mitchell's hurt too as a running back. So
when isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Love the guy. Don't get me wrong. Love the guy, but he's not consistent. Not consistent about his availability.
There you go. Yeah, not super surprised. Happens a lot to the 49ers. Absolutely.
We also changed up our health and fitness guy. He went to the Atlanta Hawks, and he was replaced by 2 people from the medical staff. So 2 people actually are taking over his position right now. And that could be an issue because we could have 2 people overlapping and saying different things and not being on the same page. And if the plans are different, that can cause issues. So depending on what the goals of the plans are. So I have no idea what's going on. This also could be, after being at a Super Bowl, the blues that you have.
Super Bowl hangover is real, that's for sure. We got Under the Helmet Pod in the house saying, yo.
What up? Appreciate you stopping by.
Hope you're doing well.
Let's see. Do we have anything? Oh, there went that. So JPA Football says the Steelers and the 49ers have a deal on a potential Brandon Ayuk trade, and the Steelers are in a good place with Ayuk on the contract extension per rap sheet. All the 49ers have to do say yes, and it seems like the trade will happen.
It's a big nothing burger.
Yep. Essentially, we kind of already knew that, right? All that information.
Mm-hmm.
Was Jair Brown the only defensive starter on the field Saturday? Potentially, yes. Who knows? We might see a D Winters. We might see Well, Renardo Green's having little hiccups in the slot, but he's learning a new position, and I'm not hating. You know, these are just this is the learning curves. This is growing pains. So I have a feeling he's going to be amazing once he figures it out, and we are going to have a lights out nickel in the slot. So
I mean, Odom or Malik Mustafa might start too if Huff's not ready.
Yeah. And Malik coming down hard. I was a little upset. I've got NFL Plus. I live here in Washington. So I got NFL Plus, and I was trying to watch the game live, and it said, oops, something is wrong. And then I tried doing it, and I still tried, and I still haven't been able to get through and actually watch the whole game.
Oh, that's
I'm
frustrating.
a little annoyed. Yeah, I've had to, everything I've watched was on YouTube. So
sorry to hear that, man. That's a bummer. For sure.
let's see if it does it again.
Tig took some bad angles. He got stuffed inside run plays, come downhill, right to the point of attack, etc.
So that's what I've been getting.
Wow.
And then it says tap to refresh, and you tap and it does nothing. So yay. Oh,
might be time to ask for a refund on that.
Yeah, hey.
It's a bummer though. I'm sorry.
Watching Tig, and he took some bad angles, got stuffed inside on the run, plays coming downhill, late point of attack, etc. That's something he needs to clean up. But also at the same time, he might turn out to be a free safety, even though he might not be quote unquote the perfect body type, but he might be more of the ball hawk, and then Malik can come through and knock people out.
It's a big hitter, that's for sure.
Gosh, does he come down with a full head of steam. And I was watching who is it, Chris Connolly talk. That guy seems like he could run a business. That guy, listening to him talk, sounds like he's smart. Maybe not doctor, lawyer type, this or that, but he definitely could run a good business. You know what I mean? Like, guy knows some shit. You could really calm, collected about things. Really appreciated him. I was like, oh, hey, shit.
I've been a big fan of his since training camp last year. He showed out. I thought he'd make the 53. I was surprised when he didn't, and then he showed up in the playoffs big time. So hopefully we'll keep seeing him contribute.
We wouldn't have got as far without at least 2 crucial catches by him.
He had a big catch of the day during one of the training camps I went to this year. I think it might have been the second Wednesday. Or sorry, it was the second training camp I went to, which was the first Wednesday I went to. And then he came up a little gimpy, and I was worried about it, but he was fine for the preseason game, so that's good.
Those are the guys you want to keep, because Kyle likes to bring people in the game who he doesn't use ever, and then dial up a play for them. And that's, like a third down late in the game. It's like, who is this? Oh, some fucking guy off the practice squad that was brought up this week. You know what I mean? It just looks like he's in because, maybe somebody's tired. It's fourth quarter. You're trying to get somebody fresh for the next drive. No, he's fucking striking. He's trying to knock you out. He's trying to knock you out with the fucking nobody. So that's why I think he keeps some of these guys around and then hides them on the practice squad. It's like, oh yeah, these guys aren't good anymore. And he's like, washed up, bro. Washed up. Oh, you gotta come up. Oh yeah, let's give somebody some air. Yeah, you just take a break. We'll just sit on this guy who's, nobody from the practice squad. Deep crosser. You know what I'm saying? Deep crosser.
Pretty impressive. So I'd like to see him keep it going. And if we deal Ayuk, then I think Conley will get a lot more opportunities. So
yes,
he's not Ayuk, but he could take some of the sting out of it for sure. What else we got? Obviously, Trent Williams still holding out. I saw that Chase Sr. did a poll, and he was asking who's more important to the 49ers offense. 91% said Trent Williams, and only 9% said Ayuk. So 10-1, people think Trent Williams is more important.
Yes, but Trent Williams can be done today. The moment Brandon Ayuk's contract is done or he's traded, Trent Williams' contract will be handled. It's not a if, which one, it's not a if or. You know what I mean? It's not which one, it's Trent's gonna stay. Trent's gonna stay whether BA stays or not. It's just they can't extend him and pay him when they're trying to tell Brandon Ayuk they don't have the money. That's what it is. It's just posturing. And even though Brandon Ayuk knows that they're gonna, you know what I mean, they're gonna try and talk him, and like he knows that they're gonna end up signing Trent Williams. He knows damn well they would sign Trent Williams over him. They just can't do it. You got money for everybody else because they signed everybody else. I'm okay with blowing up the team with this last year. I'm okay with that. But what I'm not okay with is going at this last year in the window with only one barrel fucking loaded. I want both. So that's what
So you're okay with trading everyone, but just not okay with just trading Ayuk?
No. I'm okay with doing whatever you got to do to keep this whole team together for at least one more year.
Oh, I see. Okay.
After that, we'll figure it out. Because everybody knows, we got to get a Super Bowl or you got to go. It's in the car. It's like it's going to the new world and it's burning your ships. If you don't get us to the Super Bowl, you're gone. If you don't get us to the Super Bowl, you're gone. If you don't get us to the Super Bowl, you're gone. If you get us to the Super Bowl and you win, I got a spot for you. I might not have a spot for that guy, but I got a spot for you. I'm just saying. What do you want to do? Do you want to tie one hand behind your back and just be a 100% run offense? See the box stacked. We have an offensive line that is kind of hodgepodged, put together. We got a solid anchor to anchor it in Trent Williams, but everybody else is kind of like almost plug and play with a lot of other people in the league. You just have to train them correctly for a couple weeks. Well, not a couple weeks, for a couple of months until they know what you're doing. But then after that, we've got a system. So
speaking of O-line, it sounds like Pooney has a good chance to crack the starting lineup.
Why? This is the thing. You go and get Pooney so you can pass block. He's not a very good run. Well, he's not as good of a run blocker as he is a pass blocker. And then what? We don't have a wide receiver that can get open in man. So why do you need somebody who can pass block? Right? You just need somebody who can run block because that's what you're going to be doing most of the time. And when you're passing, you're going to be passing out of play action most of the time. So, or hopefully most of the time, because you'll have everybody scared that you're going to run. And this is no knock on Pooney. He seems like he's picking up things on the line. Also, there was one play where he was out of position. He was out of position and was able to still get back over to the other side and essentially take his player out of the play altogether. And that's great. But it seems like he's great at always staying in position, which is even better, because when you're out of position, your chances of causing a penalty trying to make up for you being out of position just skyrockets. That's when the holds come through. You know what I mean? Because you're out of position. You can't make a play on the guy without doing something illegal. And if you're always in position, which Pony is very good at doing, he's going on pass protection. He's going to win 9 out of 10 times just on that, just on being in good position. Because he doesn't give anybody a good angle, good clear angle through. It's always through him. And he's a solid guy who just, doesn't get bowled over. Not that he can never get bowled over, you know what I'm saying? But regularly, man, standing up the whole time, just stonewalling people. And we saw some plays on the offensive line that I think, some calls and some what do you call it? The shift in protections that he picked up, and he was really good. There was John Chapman, also who was it? Johnny Dell. Johnny Dell did a great one, but John Chapman was explaining this one play. Hey, if this guy passes in front of his face, he ignores him and he goes straight over. Then, but he also he ignored him, but made sure the center had him at the same time, Zakelj, and then he went on and passed off. So he's smart and he's doing a good job. It's just he's going to need to learn how to run block well, because we can't have a liability in the most important part of our run game, which is the line itself. I was watching somebody, I can't remember. They said they watched, who was it? Oh, it was a Christian McCaffrey play. It was a Seahawks fan watching the best of Christian McCaffrey. And he saw this play and he's like, I'm not going to lie, I could have ran that touchdown in. And it's no knock on CMC. It was just the line opened up such a hole that, yeah, you know what I mean? Like an average guy could go into the end zone. An average guy would have been able to make it. So it's a testament to what they can do with essentially a bunch of mediocre guys and one good player. But it's not something we have seen dependable when it comes to February.
Or when it comes to playing from behind, when you can't run and you can't rely on play action.
How do you play from behind when everybody knows you have to pass and they want to put you in man coverage because they know no one can beat it because you traded away your best man coverage receiver to the Steelers? Sorry.
Well, you get a really tall tight end in return for him.
Oh, a tall tight end. Yay. Can't take the top off. We're going to have to slug it out for 7 yards all game long. Yes.
Well, maybe you don't fall behind if you have him.
Hopefully not. But that's not something we've ever been able to guarantee or bank on, nor is it something. I thought one of the best things last season was us actually being behind and having a comeback from behind. And that was, good training and all this good stuff. And then we still couldn't execute when it came down to ending it all. It's like the Die Hard, right? He shoots the bad guy and then he's like, yeah, I killed him. And he walks away and this and that. And then he's going to get all the people off. And guess who's back? That asshole is back. You forgot to walk over after you shot him. You forgot to walk over and make sure to put 2 in his head to make sure it was over. You know what I mean? Like, end of story. But we do that all the time. We just wound them, think they're dead, and go off to try and complete the rest of the mission. And then they come back and, well, they got the best of us. They got the best of us last year.
Yeah, and in 2019 as well.
Well, I don't know. I had no confidence in Jimmy that year. I had no confidence in him. When I noticed Kyle put the leash on him, I lost all confidence in him.
I was still a believer.
Oh, the moment, okay, so it was like 10 minutes left of the game, 7 minutes left of the game, some increment of time just like that, between 7 to 10 minutes. I remember they got a certain first down the Chiefs did, and I was like, oh fuck, we're screwed. We can't stop these guys. And I went and grabbed a beer. I drank way too much the day before. Way too much the day before the house was flooded. And I if I'm gonna go down in a house in the middle of the, you know, swamp in the river, I'm gonna be a little drunk. So yeah, I decided, shit, I don't care how hungover I am or how bad I feel, I'm having a beer, which didn't make me feel better, but still, I was just sitting there just sipping on my beer, just like, yeah, we're screwed. And I just watched it and knew. I
kept thinking there'd be a way to come back, but there wasn't. I didn't lose faith in Jimmy till a lot later. Week 3 of 2021 against Green Bay was when it was for me. But there were plenty of warning signs that I chose to ignore. What are you going to do?
Run blocking is easier to teach than anything else. Pass blocking it's kind of like an instinct. You either have it or you don't. It also could be how fast you are, being psyched out with moves, but it's a lot easier to teach somebody how to run block. Totally 100% easy.
Got Rob D in the house.
Yeah, Rob D.
$32
million a year, right? Somebody offered 32. Somebody offered 32. I think it was the Patriots, right?
I think Rob said he's trying to change it, but YouTube is making him wait a week or something.
Oh yeah, he could only change it twice in 14 days.
I don't know. I wasn't aware.
Why can you only? What's the difference of 14 days and twice in 14 days? And
got Levi in the house. Darwin Draven.
What up? Appreciate you stopping by.
You know, his Ravens would love to get Brandon Aiyuk, but oddly enough, they're not in the talks.
Well, they kind of got a lot of guys. I'm interested to see about Derrick Henry.
How much he has left in the
$5
tank.
million. Yeah, serious. Who knows? He's just such an aggressive runner. He's like Marshawn. Like Marshawn's lower back was like killing him at the end of his career. So who knows if there's something like that with Derrick Henry or something that's looming in the future. That's why I just there's a timer, and who knows when it started, and who knows when it started to accelerate more, because at a certain point, you're always getting older, but at a certain point in professional sports, there's a fall off, and depending on each person, it can be accelerated at certain times, where you just fall off the cliff. Some's a slow decline, you know what I mean? And usually when you're in the more hits you have, the more work you have, the more sudden of a decline it is.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely started to decline. I think he's still got a year or two left in him. I think the Titans just had some other good options, some good young options.
Yeah, they were trying to get out of his contract as soon as possible. They tried to get out of a lot of people's. It was a total rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously got out of AJ Brown's. That was probably arguably a mistake. So we'll see if Derrick Henry was a mistake too.
I don't know if getting out of Browns was a mistake. Or he's 6'6", 320 left guard with 38 bench. Woo! Ravens are experienced. And you get big fat guys up front. Okay.
6'8", 380. That's awfully large. That's like Jordan Mailata size.
It's a big boy. Could be. How fast are they though? Because that's a big man. That's a big man to be getting up to speed. But if you can get there before the big man does, it's nothing. It looked good last. Okay.
Tajay Spears, that's for the Titans. We just saw him over the weekend in our preseason game.
Yeah, we still got Jalen Moore. That's amazing.
No.
Wait.
There you go.
Wait. Don't worry, Niners fans. He hasn't gone anywhere. No one scalped him in the off season. Or is that a term we should be saying? I should be saying.
Poach.
Nobody poached him in the off season. We were safe. I love Chris Forrester doing lip service for him. Oh, you know what a great guy. Poor guy. He gets stuck getting all Trent Williams reps. Okay, so why isn't he fucking better? If he's getting all these reps, why hasn't he gotten better? Why does it still look like a shit show in preseason? Every year we get this force fed this, hey, he looks really good. Now it's, oh, this poor guy can't do anything. He can't get all these jobs on the other part of the line. Oh, the ones that you fill with guys literally off the street. Now they started.
Don't believe the hype on Jalen Moore, folks. He is not good.
No. He must have something on Chris Forrester. Is he like Chris Forrester's like love child or something? It makes no sense.
It's wild. It's wild. And just how we won't draft tackles ever since McGlinchey.
You should, like, they always get guards or centers. Guards or centers, guards or centers. Okay, 1 year, get a guard and a center. Next year, get a center and a tackle. You know why? Because centers can play guard. You know what I mean? And then next year, center and a guard. Next year, center and a tackle.
Just get some tackles, however you do it. No doubt about it.
Guards are just a tackle or a center that's not talented enough to be a guard, or not talented enough to be a tackle or a center. That's what a guard is, essentially. They are short and squatty usually, and you can have, don't get me wrong, there are some great ones, but that's kind of how it goes. If you're a tweener, you're a guard. If you don't have a lot of talent, whether your body type says it or not, you're a guard. Because it's easier to put you in between two people than it is to put you out on an island or have you call in protections for the rest of everybody else. So that's kind of, guards are kind of, yeah, footwork isn't good, you're a guard. If you're not smart, you're a guard. If you get pushed around, you're a guard. Even centers get pushed around at times, but it's usually made up for if they're really smart and they can call coverages correctly on the line and get you lined up correctly. Then people will take a trade-off on somebody's weight just for that, because essentially they know who they got on front of them and they can just call protections to help them out. Or like on run plays, they'll call protections to get them up to the second level while other people are picking up the tackles in front of them. So there's things you can do, but they never prioritize tackles. And I just don't see how you consider yourself a talented, smart organization without having thought this through. You got to have somebody's always going to go down. You know how lucky we have been not having to have Jalen Moore for a whole season?
Very lucky.
Yeah.
Got Swan Song in the house.
What up, Swan?
Because KC rebuilt their entire line in one season. I mean, they rebuilt their interior offensive line. They drafted Creed Humphrey, they got Joe Tooney, and they drafted Trey Smith, so center guard. But their tackles still aren't very good.
But they put a priority on it.
Yeah, they did.
They knew exactly what was going on. They realized you can't pay this quarterback all this money and not give him time to utilize his skills. And if we got to go cheap on the weapons, at least we'll give him time in the huddle to cook. Or not in the huddle, in the pocket to cook. And if he needs to get out of the pocket, well, he's the deadliest guy in the league, essentially, like that. I know people are scared of Lamar Jackson, but I think Patrick Mahomes, even though he doesn't do it a lot now, I still think he's one of the scariest, elusive guys on the field. He's just, when he gets out, he's nasty. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be scared of him launching a 50 to 60 yard bomb down the field at any point in time until he crosses the line of scrimmage, and you have to respect it, which gives him time to figure out what the hell he wants to do. So it's nasty.
Steelers rebuilt their line the past 2 years as well. Baltimore scout and writer for the Ravens talked about how good they looked on the line. Okay.
Without spending a crap ton of draft picks on free agents and a shit ton of money not draft picks on free agents, sorry, draft picks on, talented offensive linemen, and then spending a lot of money on free agency, you're not going to be able to turn your line 100% around in 1 year. It costs a lot, and you don't even necessarily have the right personnel available in the off season at all the times to put together a line. So doing it within 2 years is probably the best case scenario for putting together a extremely solid line. You either have a piece left over from your rebuild, or you go out and get one, and then you draft good potential guys, and hopefully you hit on at least half of them. And within 2 years, you can get yourself a group of 5 guys who can actually do things. But you have to prioritize it in the draft too. You can't be waiting till the 5th round on this. You have to pull trigger in at least the 2nd and 3rd round. You can go 1st round if you want. And that's, I would say, probably one of the smartest thing is probably get somebody in the 1st and get somebody in the 3rd, maybe the 4th, depending on what the table looks like, what your board looks like, and what's left on there and who you like. But you can't let it be the last thing. I swear, Guerendo, I don't know if he was even drafted to necessarily be a running back. If he was more of like, let's see what this guy can do in the return. And if you're drafting Guerendo for a special teamer in the 3rd, why not get an offensive lineman, somebody who might see the field on a consistent basis at some point in time, instead of 3rd round running back that you've let go after multiple seasons. Like, I can almost guarantee that he won't be on the team in 2 years, just because of all the past issues with this 3rd round running back pick.
I think he's 4th round, but I get your point for sure.
Oh, was he?
Highly drafted, yeah. And there were offensive linemen available, so.
Yeah, there was.
Levi says Lamar dropped weight to be faster. Apparently he didn't like getting caught.
Yeah, but how? You're right, Guerendo, 4th pick, 129th overall. But when he gets caught, what will happen?
He might break off a little bit more easily.
Well, yes, but when you end up getting caught, you might get hit hard enough to where it slows you down, and then that'll continuously get you hit throughout the game. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I worry about. Like, when everybody's worried about Debo's weight, we know Debo's not going to ever win one-on-one matchups against people, essentially. I don't have faith in it no matter what weight he's at. What I want to make sure is that when we have dial up these plays to get him open, that he can consistently run the play, take the damage he needs to, and then go back in the huddle and do it all over again. That's kind of what I'm more worried about. It's not necessarily how much he weighs. I just want to make sure he's got enough on him to kind of take the punishment, but still be at the leanest to where he can be as fast as possible. So I don't know where that is. I think I'd leave that up to Debo. Debo seems like he's got pride like a man, and he wants to put his best foot on forward, and he knows he could be a little chubby boy in the off season. I think now he's got it, and I think now he's got it under wraps. He should have had it under wraps the first year, but can't do anything about it. You're muted.
Debo was definitely working out this offseason and stayed in pretty good shape. He looking pretty fit in camp. So hopefully that translates to the season.
One of my favorite things by Debo is somebody was asking him something about, what was it? I think it was about injuries. He was coming back or something about playing in a game or something. Will you take it easy? And nope. Or will that come into your mind when you're playing? Nope. And it essentially was, will you make career decisions? And he immediately answered, nope. That is not, like, pretty much that is not in my frame of mind whatsoever. It seems like when he's out there on the field, he is just trying to make plays that make the whole fans go woo, or oh, that's nasty. You know what I mean? He wants to make plays that are so nice that the opposing fans have to go, fuck, you got to give it to him. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he wants to do when he sets on the field. So whether he's too fat or whether he's too skinny, I don't know. I just kind of leave it up to him, because he knows now what he needs to be at to be where he needs to be to make that happen. So I kind of default to him at this point. He's got to stay up on it.
See a tweet here from Brian Peacock. He says the reported trade offers from Cleveland and New England were the Browns offered a second, a fifth, and Amari Cooper. And the Patriots offered a second, Matt Judon, and Kendrick Bourne. I would love to see Matt Judon across from Nick Bosa on our D-line. That would be pretty epic. He's definitely one of the top defensive ends in the league.
I think that would have been a stupid move for the Patriots.
That's why I like it, yeah.
I would have, if I was the Patriots, I would have, and I was thinking of trading Judon, I would have done that. What up, Shardall? I would have done that before the draft. Got actual picks for him. And then put that towards my team and not worried about a Brandon Ayuk yet. I would be thinking about making a trade for a Brandon Ayuk type if I needed him in probably about 2 years. If I had a team around me that I was like, hey, I think we could get somewhere. We just need a guy who can win one-on-one matchups. You know?
There you go. That makes sense. Levi says I'd have taken the New England deal, to be honest. We did take the deal, and Brandon Ayuk said he wouldn't sign the extension. So we took the deal. He says we missed Judon in Baltimore. That's where he came from.
Yeah.
Shardall says, Ted, you look good, clean shaven. Yeah, it's not very often that I don't have a little stubble going. Part of it, Shardall, too, is I've lost quite a bit of weight since February. I was at 50 pounds. I think I'm probably more like 55 pounds since February. So that helps as well. Being a little slimmer and trimmer. Darwin says Judon wants a new deal. About the same price range as Ayuk, I think. And P-Mop says Queen in Pittsburgh was a good pickup for that defense.
So, like, is Judon still under contract? I didn't get all this. So wouldn't the 49ers have to just turn around and pay Judon?
Probably in next year. I mean, usually
next year. So
they have 1 year left on their deal usually.
So you're going to have to push this off till next year where people will get paid more. And then you have to pay not Brandon, but Brock Purdy at the same time. Or are you just trading Brandon Ayuk over to get Judon as a rental for a year? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt.
How does that work? That doesn't make sense. What if John, we got crack rocks over there in the building?
Well, if you're going for it this year, though, next year be damned. Like you said, shove all
Well,
the
then
chips.
just sign fucking Brandon Ayuk. It'll put the team in a lot of better position. Why are you spending money on a defensive line when it comes to holding in the Super Bowl? It doesn't mean shit. The Chiefs offensive line has the most holdings all year long, but for some reason in the Super Bowl, they're just playing immaculate football. You're telling me?
Against Bosa, Defoe, and Armstead.
And look,
And, well, I guess
I'm not calling for anybody's heads on this when it comes to the league. What I'm calling for is like, hey, wake up, front office. This is how the tempo is going. This is the vibe, okay? Read the room. It's like right now, I would rather prioritize the back end over the line because it seems like you'll get more for paying more on the back end. As long as like you're not letting a quarterback just run around and do whatever they want and you know the offensive line push you around and get first downs on every play, or you know, other than that, I'm not worried about it. If I could spend more on the back end, that's what I'm going to do, because I might be able to get pass breakups and turnovers, and that is going to put my offense out on the field more often than it is like defensive sacks, because they're not going to call holding. They're not going to get them in third and long situations because they're calling holding.
There you go.
Which those third and long situations, you can rush the passer and fucking sack them, which gets, you know, it adds more time because they got to drop back because you got to let the wide receiver go so far down the field. So it's
a symbiotic relationship.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Secondary needs pass rush, and pass rush needs secondary for sure.
But you can't rely on that being played square up front, and then those people who are so good to do what they're doing can be neutralized by a holding.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw it some in 2020 when our secondary was strong and Bosa was out, and the defense played pretty well in 2020, considering all the injuries we had. I definitely wanted to see more of a push towards secondary. It seems like we kind of did that this last offseason, picking up Yadam, picking up Yasin, drafting Renardo Green, and Mustafa. So we definitely had a big push through free agents and draft in the secondary.
It seems like there was a paradigm shift on offense and defense. It was like, let's start getting offensive linemen that can pass block, and let's start prioritizing the back end over the defensive line, which kind of should be a thing, because we get all these guys off the street that want these 1 year prove it deals so they can show out and go somewhere else and get more money. Like, let's use that to advantage. Let's put all the money on the back end and the linebackers, you know, other than maybe like a good tackle and a good D end, and then have manageable guys and then move them around.
Short, all that deal hasn't been finalized, so I don't think the Steelers will offer enough for the 49ers to say yes. Steelers typically are pretty stingy when it comes to their draft picks. They don't like to trade them away for players. They don't usually trade much for players. So I'm still of the opinion I don't think it's going to go through. But
these are my thoughts if it does happen. I'm just saying. The running back, because he didn't have his eyes. Who is that?
I think you're talking about Patrick Queen still.
Oh. There's some, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to see what's going on sometimes with how good things are being drawn up and executed on the field at times. Not every play, but some of the plays, like they're faking out the cameraman. They'll fake me out. You know what I mean? It's hard because you're not there, but at the same time, not up close, but still, I remember watching a high school football game, and my alma mater was a really good team in the state at that point in time, and they were just running the ball constantly in like a wing T. They had 3 backs, 2 tight ends, and watching the quarterback deal the ball to all 3 running backs, I couldn't tell you who had it. Look at it, because I was job shadowing a referee essentially. So I'm at the game, not dressed as a referee, but I'm close to him. So I'm able to stand there on the sidelines and look right into the backfield, perfect. And I still couldn't tell you who had the ball. And I was going, Jesus Christ, these kids are good. Like, I was like, go my alma mater. But I was just like, man, games changed a little bit. They're just so, it was immaculate. It looked like a machine. I was really excited.
Nice. Sounds good. We got James Donal in the house.
What up, James? James, I'm Irish. We lick potatoes instead. Hey, Darwin, I bet you there's a little bit of English in there. I bet you just a little bit somewhere. There's some Englishmen. I know I'm from all the Isles. I got family from all the areas there. My grandmas were all.
That's why your name is Belial.
No, it's because of my grandpa.
I know that's French, not
a French. Oui, oui. Parlez-vous français?
Oh. Un peu. So I know we're coming up over an hour here, so I know we got to be mindful of your work schedule.
Gotta get back to the grind.
Indeed. Well, I guess we'll see what happens here with Brandon Aiyuk. I think he'll stay with the team still. I think a lot of this is overblown. But I definitely think the Niners are ready to trade him if the right offer comes through, though. I just don't think it will. From a team that he'll say yes to. That's the thing as well. He has to agree to the extension. I think that Judon and Kendrick Bourne offer, that would have been a good deal for the Niners.
What? I don't know. I don't want anything other than our guy. That's what excites me. Strapping the laces back on with the same guys. Just go back at it. Not everybody's going to be here at the start of next season, okay? We understand this. So let's go out and get this. Let's go and let the chips fall where they may. It's not going to matter after we get the chip, right? I don't know anybody on that team is going to be like, fuck, man, I won a Super Bowl, and now I got to go find another job where I probably actually get a raise. Nobody's going to be pissed. Just let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Get off the fucking ball. You can't see it. But right there it says get off the fucking ball. That's Coach Kasurik's thing. The 49ers are sitting on the fucking ball. The ball has been snapped. 49ers are not out of their stance. They're looking at the guard across from them as that guard is coming out of its stance, and they're still there in a 4-point stance. That's what's happening right now. Just so you know. Give me Brandon Aiyuk. Let's get Trent Williams in there and let's go fuck these guys up. This is some bullshit. God damn. Sorry for all the swearing.
No worries, my friend. Well, thank you for another week. It's always fun. Thanks to everybody who stopped by. I'll just say peace and go Niners.